Chapter 7. In order to verify the sustainability of this bug, Li Chang'an didn't sleep this Saturday night. Relying on Mao Mao's night vision, he uprooted most of the green belts and white flowers on the lawn of the community. Relying on the shallow beast control resonance, Mao Mao has just learned the concealment technique to the perfect level. Mao Mao, who possesses the perfect hidden technique, is completely like a red-maned lion awakened by dragon blood, temporarily lacking the soul-stirring majesty of an ancient dragon. According to Mao Mao's own perception, its current aura is in the category of a hybrid dragon. Although Li Chang'an stayed up all night, his body was not very tired. Although the health gained last night was not much, it still expanded his physical limit. Until 6 o'clock in the morning, he was still in high spirits. For tomorrow's exam, while sorting out Xiao Chang'an's memories, Li Chang'an made a vegetable salad for Mao Mao. This salad is the pet food preparation that will be done on the practical exam. Under Li Chang'an's expectant gaze, Mao Mao swallowed the woody vegetable salad with difficulty. Mao Mao. Although I eat some plants such as fireweed and flame flowers, I don't eat an all-wood vegetable meal. Fortunately, Li Chang'an gave Mao Mao 3 portions of hot milk and high-quality volcanic rocks, and then the little kitten rolled onto the bed and fell asleep. On this day, Li Chang'an took a nap for a while, and then did not rest again. He was planning to make dinner in the evening when he heard the sound of the door lock opening at home. Button, button, button. Li Chang'an heard the familiar sound of high heels and the sound of people changing shoes in the entrance hall. Mom, are you back? Xiao An, have you eaten? A gentle voice came from the entrance. Not yet. I'm planning to do it. Hey, let me see my son's craftsmanship. Mao Mao squatted on the dining table and looked curiously towards the entrance. Is this Chang'an's mother? How amazing! As an ancient dragon, Mao Mao was keenly aware of the hidden power of the mysterious woman. Li Chang'an explained to Mao Mao through the soul contract Said, "My parents are both king-level beast masters, which correspond to king-level pet beasts." Mao Mao suddenly realized that this was the first time that he knew about Li Chang'an's parents. Although the king level is nothing to it, from the perspective of human cognition, it is already very powerful. Among the knowledge that Mao Mao gained from Li Chang'an, the levels of human beast masters from low to high are low-level beast masters, levels 1 to 3, mid-level beast masters, levels 4 to 6, high-level beast masters, levels 7 to 9, and king's level legendary beast master. Li Chang'an doesn't know about the higher levels, but Mao Mao knows about the levels of monsters above the king level. Wow, what a cute little kitten! A woman in a red dress wanted to pick up Mao Mao, but Mao Mao nimbly dodged it. Mao Mao jumped up to the top of the nearby shelf and looked down at this elegant-looking woman. Meow, meow. Even if you are Chang'an's mother, I won't let you touch her. Only Chang'an can hold me. Li Chang'an put down the vegetable knife and walked out of the kitchen. He said helplessly, "Mom, stop playing and come here to help." The elegant woman was a little disappointed, but she still put on an apron and walked into the kitchen. This young and beautiful woman is Li Chang'an's mother, Mu Qingqing. He runs a high-end tea house and tea shop. Due to his status as a king-level beastmaster and convenience, the tea house run by Mu Qingqing has always been in a leading position in Hongyan City. Because of this, like his father Li Mingxuan, he was busy with work and had little time to spend with little Chang'an. Li Chang'an never complained about his parents like his predecessor. As a person who has experienced this, He is deeply aware that there are many things in this world that are difficult to have both ways. Although Mu Qingqing is nearly 40 years old, time has still not left any trace on her face. When facing Li Chang'an, the only son, he occasionally showed his little devil character when he was young. Alas, Xiao An, was that little kitten outside brought home by you? I remember that running away was not allowed in our house. Mu Qingqing's narrowed eyes were like a 1,000-year-old female fox looking at something she was interested in. Li Chang'an was very calm. He knew that once he showed embarrassment or timidity, Mu Qingqing would make fun of him even more. Well, Mu Qingqing has been like this since Xiao Chang'an can remember. He said lightly, Mao Mao's birth was just an accident. Hatched from the dead egg you bought? What a miracle. Mu. Qingqing cut the vegetables again and again, with a smile on her lips. And Xiao An, how come you have even completed the contract and the beast control space? Li Chang'an evenly arranged the chopped cabbage and meat slices on the casserole, put small pieces of tofu and mushrooms, and a few prepared shrimps. Pour the sauce prepared in advance, cover the pot, and turn on the heat. After stewing for half an hour, he explained, I can't let a dragon that inherits the blood of an ancient dragon roam around in the house, can I? This time it was Mu Qingqing's turn to be uneasy. Ancient dragon bloodline, can other monsters inherit this thing? Wait, I seem to have heard my husband say that there are indeed some lucky people who can inherit some rare ancient dragon bloodline. But these lucky people, there are fewer than the number of ancient dragons themselves. This stupid boy of his own can actually meet one. Mu Qingqing controlled the surprise on her face and asked casually, which ancient dragon's bloodline is it? Who else could it be? The Hell Flame Dragon? Mu Qingqing lengthened her voice and said, Oh. Li Chang'an couldn't stand the atmosphere and said to Mu Qingqing, Ms. Mu, Comrade Li Mingxuan has told you that you are very poor at pretending. Mu Qingqing burst out laughing, but she still held back her laughter afterwards. Li Chang'an was speechless and choked. My husband is so weak. Isn't that right? Your father has learned the 3 obediences and the 4 virtues very well, and I feel very relieved. Li Chang'an. After the mother and son had a fight, they squatted with cabbage stewed with tofu and a pot of boiled pork slices. The boiled pork slices were cooked by Mu Qingqing. This lady, who has lived for 500 years, was not worried at all. There will be acne on the face. When Mao Mao saw that the food was ready, he jumped down from the top of the locker. He ran to Li Chang'an's lap and looked at the pot of hot boiled meat slices with golden eyes. His little paws, he pointed and said, Meow, I want that one in Chang'an. Ms. Mu Qingqing proudly put her hands on her hips and said, Mao Mao, you are very knowledgeable. You can tell at a glance that this is made by me. She already knew in the kitchen that Li Chang'an gave Mao Mao a name, and she was very curious about this kitten. So she made the second dish into boiled pork slices and added the spiritual plant of flame pepper. Ingredients. She was definitely not greedy and wanted to eat something spicy. Li Chang'an didn't intend to pay attention to his mother and took out a few slices of meat and bean sprouts and put them on the small plate prepared for Mao Mao. Remember to eat the bean sprouts. Mao Mao was a little disgusted, but as he ate the bean sprouts, a surge of heat came from the bean sprouts. The little guy couldn't bear it anymore and started to eat happily. Li Chang'an's eyes showed a true expression. She carefully picked up the cabbage stewed with tofu she made. Mu Qingqing also showed a look of regret. The child is older, and it is difficult to lie to her. When she was a child, Xiao'an would run over and take a bite of the chopsticks. Then she was so spicy that she was so hot. Crying. Li Chang'an's peripheral vision caught the expression on Mu Qingqing's face, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. "How old are you? So childish." This pot of boiled meat slices was solved by Mu Qingqing and Mao Mao. After washing the dishes, Mu Qingqing called Li Chang'an to her studio. The first thing Li Chang'an said was, "Pure milk and high-quality volcanic rocks are for Mao Mao." Mu Qingqing waved her hands and said, "I'm not here to argue with you." She stared at Li Chang'an closely, as if suppressing something, and asked, "Xiao'an, have you awakened your talent?" Chapter 8. Li Chang'an nodded in disbelief. He had awakened twice. Mu Qingqing had a sad look on her face and pulled Li Chang'an into her arms. Choking up sobs, he said, "I'm sorry, Xiao'an. Your dad and I are usually too busy, so we let you face this kind of thing alone." Li Chang'an was a little confused at first, why his mother's mood changed so quickly. But a memory of Xiao Chang'an reminded him of a lesson about talent awakening. It was mentioned in this class that the independent awakening of talent is not uncommon in today's Donghuang Kingdom. But when they awaken on their own, the feeling of life being worse than death makes most children who awaken on their own choose to commit suicide. Therefore, there are fewer examples of surviving and maintaining an optimistic character after autonomous awakening than winning the lottery. Generally, the awakened talents of this kind of people are very powerful, and they can be regarded as one drink and one peck. He understood how Mu Qingqing was feeling at this moment. It was such a painful feeling for a mother to know that her child had experienced life and death without her knowledge. "Sorry." Mu Qing burst into tears, and Li Chang'an had no choice but to put his hands around her waist and pat her back with his hands. The child who wanted to hear these words most was no longer there, and his memory was that of an adult. Gifted autonomy. Although the awakening was uncomfortable, it would not make him collapse. Anyway, he had the experience of death, so he was considered a professional counterpart. After Mu Qingqing's mood stabilized, Li Chang'an asked, "Mom, how did you know that my talent has awakened?" "Mu!" Qingqing hugged Li Chang'an tightly and refused to let go. After a while, she said, "You used to cut potatoes very slowly, but today you cut the meat slices very quickly and thinly. You are even more agile than the chef in the restaurant." "What else could it be besides talent?" Li Chang'an raised his eyebrows. He was exposed here. He really couldn't underestimate others. Seeing this, Li Chang'an's remaining pride as a reincarnated person completely disappeared. Mu Qingqing asked Xiao'an, "What is your talent?" "Be clever and improve your hand dexterity." Mu Qingqing's mood completely stabilized, and she began to display her knowledge and vision as a king-level beastmaster. Do you have any understanding of how talent works? For example, when cutting vegetables, do you feel that you can cut well before you hold the knife? Or do your palms become more flexible after holding the knife for a while? Li Chang'an grasped the key point. What I want to ask is whether manual dexterity leads to spirituality. Or does spirituality come first, and then manual dexterity? The order is very important. The former is just an ordinary strengthening talent, while the latter is a mysterious talent involving the spiritual field. Li Chang'an recalled the feeling of cooking. Although he had cooking experience in his previous life, he had a feeling like this after holding the kitchen knife. It seemed that he had complete control over cutting vegetables, and the degree of control increased with time. As he continued chopping vegetables, he got higher and higher, just like Mao Mao training his skills. Huh? Training skills? Skill proficiency? Li Chang'an reacted immediately. He didn't expect that this seemingly ordinary talent could bring him such a big surprise. Mu Qingqing saw Li Chang'an's surprised eyes and knew that her child had grasped the key point. It seems that you have understood what I mean, Xiaoan. This is the initial development and expansion of talent. It is a required course in Beast Control University. Even for the simplest physical enhancement, there are thousands of documents in universities to understand it. Not to mention your talent for successful independent awakening. Li Chang'an sighed in his heart. Sure enough, he couldn't use his experience of reading novels in his previous life to measure the professional level of the Beastmaster who has studied for hundreds of years. Thinking of this, Li Chang'an became even more humble. He explained the relevant information to Mu Qingqing, things of talent and ingenuity. Xiaoan, your talent is much more powerful than I imagined. It is not a relationship between before and after, nor a relationship between cause and effect, but symbiosis. Because holding the knife in the hand stimulates spiritual power, and the existence of spiritual power allows the hand to hold the knife better. The two promote each other and achieve an effect similar to accelerating thinking. The more Mu Qingqing spoke, the more excited her tone became. She could already imagine how brilliant her children would be in the future. Li Chang'an also kept Mu Qingqing's words in mind. These are the mottos of a king-level beastmaster. He can buy them if he wants. I couldn't buy it. But I heard Mu Qingqing ask, I can think of two paths that are more suitable for you now. One is a mediator, and the other is a hunter. Which one do you want to choose, Xiaoan? Blender? Hunter? Li Chang'an thought of the introductions of these two professions. The blender is a profession that blends extraordinary materials. Some focus on potions, some focus on weapons and ammunition, and some focus on cooking spiritual food. It is a profession that focuses on blending all things. The target's profession. Hunter is the most glorious profession in the past era, and its status is equivalent to that of the current Beastmaster. It gathers great power in itself, and its skills are connected to the gods. A considerable part of the territory of Donghuang Kingdom today was conquered by hunters. It can be said that without hunters, there would be no stable life for the people of Donghuang Kingdom today. Since Mu Qingqing is also a master of cooking spiritual food, Li Chang'an is quite familiar with the blender. On the contrary, he is a famous hunter. Except for the introduction in the book, the rest are all don't know. Mom, can you tell me what kind of path a hunter takes? When Mu Qingqing saw Li Chang'an's cautious but expectant look, his depressed mood improved a little. The development of the hunter profession is no longer what it was 100 years ago, so the things you are worried about, Xiaoan, have probably been eliminated by hunters long ago. Today's hunters allow pets to assist. Not only is this allowed, hunters have also developed many techniques for attacking with pets. It can be said that hunters in the new era are more open and more powerful than you think. What you have to worry about is not the old customs of old sesame seeds, but rotten millet, but the assessment of the Hunter Guild. Mu Qingqing's long and narrow eyebrows raised slightly. The Hunters Guild is not as easy to talk to as the Beast Mastering Association. Their assessment is very strict. Not only does the pet's strength have to pass the test, but its own skills must also be proficient. Li Chang'an realized this is the Beast Controller's version of the Special Forces, the Ultimate Individual Soldier, Blue Star Special Edition. If it is as Mu Qingqing said, then joining the Hunter Guild is indeed not an easy task. Li Chang'an said seriously to Mu Qingqing, "Mom, I want them all. Children only make choices. Adults want everything." Mu Qingqing. Of course, real things cannot be decided by Li Chang'an just saying, "I want them all." Mu Qingqing taught Li Chang'an a brand new low-level fire-type spiritual food, Fire Bud Milk Soup. Although this spiritual food is of low-level quality, the production process is not much simpler than some mid-level spiritual food. The main reason is to see where the upper limit of Li Chang'an's talent is. Then Mu Qingqing's face. Within 2 hours, he experienced rapid changes from frowning, solemnity, astonishment, disbelief, and numbness. Li Chang'an wiped the sweat from his forehead, and Mao Mao, lying on the dining table, already looked like he was stretched. Mao Mao. Help, I can still eat it when I get up. In the past 2 hours, he made 8 portions of fire sprout milk soup. From the initial stumbling to the subsequent familiarity, he finally used the double boiler to make 2 high-quality portions at once. The best Firebud milk soup. Mu Qingqing has indeed realized her son's abnormal talent. This is no longer an acceleration of thinking, but an epiphany, the unity of heaven and man. The first time it was still in the category of accelerated thinking, but now the second time she made it, Mu Qingqing actually saw the spark of enlightenment in a 16-year-old child. The third and fourth time she made it, the harmonious feeling that merged with the pots and pans reminded her all the time. This is the state of harmony between man and nature that the mediator dreams of. It seems that it is necessary to discuss the future of the child with Lao Li. Mu Qingqing covered her black eyes and asked Li Chang'an to go back and have a good rest to prepare for tomorrow's exam. Chapter 9. The next day, Mu Qingqing did not continue to teach Li Chang'an anything. These 2 days are the final exams for high school, which are very important for children's future, so we should focus on academics first. There will be plenty of time in the future to discuss the future path. The questions require you to read them carefully. Don't be too quick. Check them over again after you finish them. And be careful. Like most parents, after Mu Qingqing sent Li Chang'an to school, she told him the same thing several times before leaving. If someone hadn't taken him away, Li Chang'an would still be nagging Ms. Mu Qingqing. The Dashan Ren, is a girl, wearing a white summer shirt and a yellow and black plaid skirt on her lower body. The girl's legs are wrapped in a layer of white knee-high socks, and the knees are slightly pink. And the knee-high socks, an indescribable dent was made on her thigh, which complemented the porcelain-smooth skin above. This girl's name was Wen Miaohua, and she was Li Chang'an's only childhood sweetheart. Likewise, Li Chang'an was also her only sweetheart. The two have known each other since their mother's womb. Wen Miaohua's mother, Tang Xinyao, is the best friend of Li Chang'an's mother, Mu Qingqing, in college. Therefore, the two families have close contact. In fact, there are many people who were in the same class with Wen Miaohua from the past, but she and Wen Miaohua Li Chang'an is the only one who is close to Wen Miaohua. Not only because of the relationship between the two families, but also because Li Chang'an is the only one who does not dislike Wen Miaohua. Because Wen Miaohua is an iceberg beauty, in a physical sense. Meow! Meow! Oh, Chang'an, there is a nice guy inside this person. Li Chang'an used to think that Wen Miaohua had awakened some bloodline or talent, but now it seemed that he had inherited a troublesome pet ability. The so-called inheritance of pet beast abilities means that every new beast master may obtain a skill or talent of a pet beast after contracting an initial pet beast. Researchers from the Donghuang Kingdom discovered that if a beastmaster contracts a pet before it reaches its awakening stage, it will 100% inherit an ability of the pet when the beast breaks through to its awakening stage. Therefore, during summer vacation, the prices of some popular pet eggs will become quite high. You feel a little different today. Wen Miaohua's clean eyes stared at Li Chang'an, and the words he spat out were like clear springs flowing from the mountains, crisp and long-lasting. Li Chang'an saw a trace of curiosity in Wen Miaohua's eyes, which was an impression that little Chang'an had not remembered. In Xiao Chang'an's memory, Wen Miaohua is cold and depressive. Only sweet cakes can make her look strange. I just contracted the initial pet beast. Li Chang'an thought of the unknown attributes on the panel and hesitated. It should be fire. Should it? Although Wen Miaohua grasped the key point, she didn't delve into it. She didn't want to lose the only peer who could be by her side. So she responded with one word. Oh. Li Chang'an looked at the girl in front of him, who looked like a snow lotus on the Tianshan Mountains, in amazement. It seemed that he could not fully believe in Xiao Chang'an's memory. For example, Wen Miaohua, in his perception, this girl's emotions were delicate and humble. The delicacy was hidden under those clear spring-like eyes, without a trace of fireworks. This humility was concealed under the cold aura of the whole body, so low that it was invisible. Li Chang'an subconsciously took out an orange-flavored candy. He was surprised when this candy was in his school uniform. Wen Miaohua's cool little hands had already taken the orange candy from him and skillfully tore open the candy wrapper, and the candy bulged on her delicate face. A dot, and then the girl squinted her eyes, tasting the sweet taste like a hamster. Li Chang'an could clearly sense the girl's happy emotions. Although it was very vague, he could still sense it after initially accepting the psychic talent. Arrive. When we came to the classroom, there was still some noise, but the moment Wen Miaohua walked in, it all died down. All the students consciously started to pack away the stationery for the exam, and then walked out of the classroom sparsely. Li Chang'an touched and smelled it at the right time. Miaohua's jet-black hair, this ability combines air conditioning and coercion. It is indeed too early for a group of underage high school students. Let's go and prepare things. I took a look and found that we should be in the same examination room. The dimness in the depths of Wen Miaohua's eyes was filled by Li Chang'an's smile. She didn't know why this childhood sweetheart had changed so much. The girl lowered her head, and the corners of her mouth unconsciously raised a cold arc. But it was very warm. This scene was, the students, who had not yet walked out of the classroom, saw that everyone had the same idea. Li Dajun is a real man. In the morning, he took 2 subjects, Chinese and mathematics. It was not difficult for Li Chang'an. Little Chang'an's memory had already helped him. Most of the academic matters were solved. After lunch, Li Chang'an and Wen Miaohua came to the cafeteria and found a quiet corner to sit down to eat. Li Chang'an, who had just become a level 1 beastmaster, had clear ears and eyesight. As soon as I moved, I heard the conversations of these energetic high school students. Hey, Did you know that squad leader Wen had his head touched this morning? Which monitor? That iceberg from Class 3, Grade 2. Oh, it turned out to be her. What kind of heroic feat was she? Who else could it be? Li Chang'an. That Li Chang'an who covered the sky with Wen Miaohua in the second year of high school? Yes, that's him. Your sophomore year of high school was really dark, and who among you in this year's class had better grades than the two of them? The boy with short hair and glasses replied very proudly, No. Everyone fainted. Li Chang'an noticed that Wen Miaohua's ears were slightly red. Pink. Sometimes having too good hearing is not a good thing. Miao. Chang'an, I want to eat too. Li Chang'an finally realized that he was no longer alone, but had a family with him. Oh, I'll prepare it for you immediately. Li Chang'an took out a thermos box from his school bag and placed it on the side. It contained a large portion of fire sprout milk soup. Mu Qingqing made it when she got up in the morning. The contract formation flashed under Li Chang'an's feet, and a dragon-clad, the scaly kitten appeared in his arms. He weighed it and felt it. Okay. Mao Mao weighs at least 3 times more than when she was born. At a young age, he has quite a lot of talents. The scene of Li Chang'an summoning his pet beast was seen by many people and caused a commotion. A girl who had just passed by Li Chang'an's table shook subconsciously and ran away quickly. I'll go. It's a fire beast. The beasts contracted by the new beast masters of Donghuang Kingdom are not like those in the TV series. The first one they contract is a cool initial pet beast such as thunder, fire, and ice. Then reach the peak of life. When choosing a pet beast, a beast master in this world must consider not only compatibility and intimacy, but also the impact of the pet beast itself. For example, if a fire-chasing dog with a flaming tail flicks its tail inadvertently, it may burn the animal master or ignite objects in the home, causing a fire. The flame chaser dog is quite gentle, but many fire-type pets have bad tempers and attack at every turn, causing many injuries. For example, when facing thunder beasts, one must pay attention to the problem of electric shock and the poisoning problem of poison beasts. If the beast master is not careful, he may end up in the hospital or die suddenly on the spot. Not to mention other pet beasts with special attributes. The characters of light and dark pet beasts are not only weirder, but also bring higher risks. Things that require attention such as the soul system, death system, life system, and dragon beasts are not something that these underage high school students can deal with. After all, if you want to increase intimacy with a pet beast, you can't wear an insulating suit to approach a thunder beast. You have to touch the poisonous pet beast without gloves, etc. Therefore, most new beast masters, when choosing their initial pet beasts, will choose water, wood, and earth pet beasts with more docile personalities. It is safer and less difficult to cultivate. Anyway, when you get stronger, you can contract pet beasts with powerful attributes in the future, so there is no rush. Wen Miaohua stared curiously at the red cat that stayed quietly in Li Chang'an's hands. It seems to listen to you, and it doesn't look like a fire pet at all. Li Chang'an smiled and said, Mao Mao is indeed very good, but only in my hands. Wen Miaohua nodded with great approval. The one in my family also has the same temper.